I the a-hole for not wanting to be part of my brother's kids' lives? My brother died at 29 roughly 4 years ago. He left behind a wife, 32 female, and 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, aged 6, 7, and 9. Me and my brother were never close. No, my brother was downright hostile to me. There was significant age difference between me and him, roughly 9 years. I'm currently 24, and I think he was always jealous of me and resented me for being born. I think he had been an only child for too long. Regardless, all my time with him was horrific, and he ruined most of my youth. This did not change when he was an adult either. He did not recognize me as his brother, and would full-on ignore me whenever he was over, even during holidays like Christmas. To the extent where he would buy everyone gifts, from our parents to distant cousins, apart from me. My life improved when he finally moved out. However, our relationship never improved. I was not even invited to his wedding. Not that I minded at the time, to be honest. I was also only told after the fact by my parents when his kids were born, but never met them when he was alive. He ended up getting cancer and passed away a few months after his diagnosis. During this time, according to my family, he was extremely apologetic, regretted his actions, and asked me for quite a lot. I never ended up visiting, and before you ask, no, I do not regret that at all. Regardless, he wrote me a letter which my parents gave me after he died as he had asked them to do. The letter was a long apology, and him imploring me to look after his kids and help his wife. I ended up going to his funeral, mostly to support my parents, where I met his kids and wife. Since that moment, I have had his wife reach out to me a lot over the years asking me to help. Babysit, spend time with her kids, you name it. I've always declined/ignored it. At this point, my parents also got involved, imploring me to help out, as I am the only young male role model these kids will ever have. Brother's wife does not want to remarry, has no male relatives. My dad is in his 70s. Of course, they know what my brother wanted and care for their grandkids, so I get where they're coming from. And I do feel bad about it. I just want to see what people from the outside think. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Relationships need to be fostered, even familial ones. None of them can expect you to take on the role of uncle when they were all complicit in your brother's behavior of outright ignoring you and excluding you from his own family. Well, I don't blame his kids for that, just to be clear. Of course not. However, the wife and your parents allowed this to go on. I think it's wrong of them now to push or expect you to now play the uncle role. It struck me that Opie said when his former sister-in-law reaches out for him to help somehow or to babysit. If that is an accurate description of what's being asked of him, I think it's crappy and one-sided. Not the a-hole. I wonder why your parents didn't intervene on his behavior towards you earlier. You are an adult, and it is your life, your choice. They're very peacekeeper-ish. I'm not trying to make it okay, but between my brother and his kids and me, I can see why they try to keep everyone close instead of just picking sides. But I certainly think they let my brother get away with way too much. I agree, and that is the problem. Sometimes a person needs to speak up for people being bullied. The silence enables them. I agree, and my relationship with my parents is not the best, in large part due to the past. But as I said, I get where they came from at the time. Next story. Am I the a-hole for walking out of my husband's birthday dinner when his sister was complaining about her fertility? My husband's parents threw my husband a birthday dinner at their home last Saturday. During dinner, his sister announced she was pregnant with her 6th child. Everyone congratulated her, and my husband grew quiet. He and I have been trying for a baby for 7 years now, and only just saved the money for IVF. Once the commotion about the new member of the family settled, my sister-in-law started her usual commentary on how much it sucks to be so fertile, and how she feels like she'll just never be able to stop having kids because the pill and contraceptive injection both failed, and how she's not a good fit for an IUD. By the time she pointed out she's been pregnant so often that they don't even need to have full action anymore for her to get knocked up, I couldn't take it anymore, and I walked out. My husband followed me, and I could see he was holding back some tears too. He apologized for saying nothing. I said he didn't need to, that he was obviously struggling too. By the time we made it home, his parents had called to say how sorry they were, and how none of that was meant to happen. His sister, on the other hand, called me a killjoy and a drama queen, and she told me it was rude to walk out after all her parents' hard work and for spoiling the celebration of a pregnancy. I hung up on her, I want to cry because her words stuck in my head. Since then, she and my husband got into a fight because she called me selfish and said I made a dinner about me instead of them. I wish I could feel she's totally wrong, but I worry she's right. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Wait, you spoiled the celebration for the pregnancy? Funny, I could have sworn it was a celebration for your husband's birthday. Definitely not the a-hole. She basically brought an FU to her brother's birthday instead of a gift. And doubled it. Between stealing the limelight and bragging that her husband can get her knocked up easily. Not the a-hole. It was a birthday dinner for your husband. Not a me, I'm pregnant again, it's all about me. I think she did it to ruin your dear husband's celebration, and they should have said something to her. Not the a-hole. The next time she says something, ignore the hell out of her. Not the a-hole. 1. Tell her husband to get a vasectomy. 2. I wish you guys the best with IVF. It's a very long emotional process, and I wish you nothing but all the happiness in the world. Not the a-hole. It wasn't a dinner to celebrate her pregnancy. It was your husband's birthday dinner, but she made it about her. Right. Massive projection for her to accuse Opie of making the dinner about her. I don't think the sister can see past the tip of her own nose. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not hosting a baby shower for my estranged daughter-in-law? I think a bit of background may be required for this one. I, 60 female, have 2 sons and a daughter. The people in question here are Dave, 35, and his wife, Liz, 29. Basically, I have a relationship with Dave, but none at all with Liz. Dave was married before and has 2 children, 11 male and 9 female, with his ex-wife, Cassie. Cassie unexpectedly died in January 2020, about 2 weeks before Dave and Liz's wedding. Liz and I had a falling out over the children attending the wedding. They said they did not want to attend. But Liz demanded they be in the wedding despite the fact they had just lost their mother and could have stayed with Cassie's parents that day. Dave gave in to Liz's demand, and the kids attended. Then Liz says they ruined the wedding when they refused to walk down the aisle and then cried at the reception. I defended my grandchildren's behavior because they were grieving, and Liz was very angry that I did not try harder at the wedding to get them to behave. They were in my care for the day. After the wedding, Cassie's parents and my husband and I started taking our grandchildren more often because they did not want to be at Dave and Liz's house. My son works long hours, so they would mostly have to be with Liz. Liz does not like that we pick up our grandkids when they call us, and maybe we are undermining her parenting, but she does often fail to cook dinner, take them to therapy or after-school activities. She is now expecting a baby in November and will be having a baby shower in a few weeks. I was not invited, but I have not told any of my extended family about the issue with Liz, or the fact that I was not attending because I feel like my family is also Dave's family and can form their own opinions. Recently, word got out that I would not be there. I'm not sure how, and family started to question. The reason got out there, and my family is now very angry with both Dave and Liz. They are refusing to attend the baby shower, and I guess the guest list went from over 60 to under 20. Liz and family have decided they are fine with us because they do not have to pay for as many guests. But now Liz has called my daughter and demanded that we, daughter and I, host a shower for her. And she might stop by if she is feeling up to it, but will come to pick up the gifts after the shower to show the family that we are all on good terms. Not actually true. I might be the a-hole because we declined. And now that people know we are estranged, I am sort of happy that I don't have to pretend to like her anymore. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your daughter-in-law sounds super entitled. Who the heck demands a baby shower from anyone? Yikes. The same person who made 2 grieving children go to a wedding 2 weeks after their mom died, and then got upset that they were crying at the wedding. The real question is, why doesn't the father protect his own children from this woman? Not the a-hole. And frankly, your son is no peach either the way he treats those kids. Yes. He is an enabler to all of her problematic actions. I am most disgusted by the fact that he chose to force the kids to attend the wedding instead of dropping Liz. He chose Liz over the well-being of the kids. Both of them should not have custody of the kids. I hope Opie can get custody of the grandkids. Especially since it sounds like Liz is neglecting them. What kind of parent, buy or step, is okay with an adult trusted to watch kids forgetting to cook them dinner, or bring them to therapy, or get them to after-school activities. Especially as kids who have lost a parent. Those are all very important for the emotional health of the kids. Not stay home. Who forced children into a wedding after their parent died? Then neglect them. She only wants you to do that so she can cover up her mistakes, like being super disrespectful to you. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for walking out of my sister's baby shower party after she had me babysit the kids? My brother and his wife are expecting their 5th child together. Last week, her sister threw a kids-friendly baby shower party that was sent an invitation. I, 21, looked at the date, and even though I had an upcoming exam but also not close with my brother's in-laws, I decided to make time to attend since my sister-in-law wanted me there so badly. I arrived at the party and there were plenty of kids. I took a seat and watched as the kids made huge noise and disrupted the party atmosphere. That includes sister-in-law's kids, of course. Sister-in-law and her sisters were becoming frustrated. That's when sister-in-law took all the kids upstairs and told me to follow her. She had them go into the guest room and asked me to watch them for a few minutes till she returns. I told her thanks, but I wasn't up for it. She said, just 5 minutes, silly. Don't act like kids are terrifying creatures. So I said, okay, 5 minutes. She shut the door and was gone for 5, then 10, then 12 minutes. The kids were already making noise. So I called her phone and she told me she was coming. I waited 5 minutes, then another 5. I went downstairs to speak to her, but she saw me, pulled me aside, and told me to go back upstairs and watch the kids. I said, why? I'm here for the party, not to babysit. She insisted and pressured me, which made me upset, so I told her no. I wasn't going to be stuck in a room with over 13 kids to babysit while she and family have fun downstairs. I'm not even good with children. Yes, I love my nieces and nephew, but managing over 13 kids is a lot, and is not an easy task for someone like me. I took my jacket and I said I was leaving. She begged me to come back, but I just walked out. My brother was livid as she told him I walked out, and he said I shouldn't have, and called me unsupportive and negative to walk out the way I did and embarrassing his wife in front of guests. I told him about the 13 kids she set me up to babysit, and reminded him I had important stuff to do but still found time to attend, just so she could isolate me in a room while she celebrates? Now he and my parents wanted me to apologize for my rudeness and for messing up the event for sister-in-law. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. First, after 5 kids? Who has a baby shower? Second, they should have made plans for childcare if they wanted a kid-friendly shower. And that doesn't mean you. Everyone else is the a-hole here. But not you. This. Not an a-hole. Having a shower for a 5th baby is insane. But then expecting you to be free childcare without even asking is ludicrous. If they wanted adult time to celebrate the new baby coming and enjoy each other's companies, then they should have had the husbands watch the kids, or hired some young teenagers to keep them occupied. Right. What could you possibly need when you already have that many kids? No one in their right mind wants to watch 13 kids, even if you love them. Not an a-hole. No one wants to get stuck watching a dozen kids for free instead of being a guest at a party. If they want you to be the sitter, they should have asked you, paid you, and had an assistant for you. I'm pretty sure there is no babysitter in the world willing to babysit 13 random kids of all different ages in one tiny room, no matter what to pay. If that person exists, they deserve a medal and hazard pay. Not an a-hole. If it's a kid-friendly party, then in my opinion there are 2 choices. 1, you arrange the entertainment/care for the kids, or 2, everybody tames and keeps an eye on their own kiddos. Last story. Am I the a-hole for leaving a family gathering because my family made me sit at the kid table? For context, I haven't seen my full family together in quite some time, so they set up a get-together at a park today. The family gathering includes me, 22 male, my brother 21, my sister 25, her husband 29, and their 2 kids, my dad, stepmom and her kids 6 and 9, aunt, uncle, my 2 cousins 15 and 20, then grandma and grandpa. I get there with some picnic items. I brought a quiche and the cups, and see a few members setting up. I say hi, and help set up the tables and set the food out. We talk and play games while the others show up. When everyone gets there, we sit down to eat. sit next to my dad, then gets a weird look from my aunt as she says to me, "This is the adults' table." To which I reply, "I am an adult?" She then tells me that the first and second generations are considered adult, and the third and fourth generations should sit at a kid's table, since we don't have much to contribute to adult conversations. I tell her that I can drink, that I drove here, that I pay and have a job. So how am I still considered a child? She says that until I have kids of my own, I'll have to sit at a kid's table. According to my aunt, there are 8 children, ages 6 to 22, and 8 adults, ages 25 to 75. So I should just sit at a kid's table since it'll be even. But there's plenty of space at the adult table, and I don't want to be stuck with 5 literal children. She still disagrees. And at this point, my uncle and grandparents back her up. So I say, screw it. Take my quiche back, tell them to have a nice day, and drive away. I get a few texts telling me to come back by my dad and grandparents. I ask if aunt is going to apologize, and they ask for what? That was enough for me to disregard their other messages and calls until I got home, where I am now. I feel horrible that I may have possibly ruined a nice family gathering, but feel my family doesn't respect me at all enough to say that I am still a child, and apparently have the same mentality as 6-year-olds. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I love you took your quiche with you too. It tastes sweeter for some reason. Not the a-hole. Your aunt is totally an a-hole. They probably want you at the kids' table to play babysitter. I would have left too, to be honest. I'm surprised my brother accepted it too. He's 21. I understand my cousin's situation though, since she's my aunt's daughter and it's not like she's going to talk back. If I stayed, there would have been 3 people over 20 at the kids' table. What? You're really sure he accepted it? Rather than he was too cowed to speak up, so he kept the peace? Probably. I'm not upset nobody spoke up. Just that it was apparently an issue to my aunt. People should be able to sit wherever they want. The division of tables between kids and grown-ups is really dumb in the first place the more I think about it. I think it's just about not being at the kids' table more than anything, which I guess is what prompted me to want to sit at the adult table in the first place.